Someone to see you, boss.
As soon as I saw her, I knew she was trouble.
I'm in trouble, and I need your help.
Then I made my first mistake. I said I'd listen.
Telegram for you, boss.
God damn, you haven't even accepted this case and people are already trying to kill you. I mean, this seems a little hasty. Well, they could have at least waited 5 minutes. I mean, if you said no, then they wouldn't have had to kill you.
Someone shot my boyfriend,
Bitch,
Johnny
someone
Rock.
just tried to shoot
I
me.
want you to find out who it was.
Johnny Rock. He was a singer. He always wanted to be on the hit parade. And that night somebody made his wish come true. When I got to Johnny Rock, I found this in his hand.
The number you're given is preset. It can be any number from 1 to 6. It's a good idea to remember it, but it's not the end of the world if you don't. Okay, what exactly is going on here? Why are you checking out Johnny Rock's body? Shouldn't, the body, already be in the morgue or something? Didn't the cops already close the file? I mean, that's why you hire a detective, right?
Johnny, are you there? Johnny, what's the lucky number? Johnny, what's the lucky number? Johnny and I, you can call me Red, we were going to be married.
The scene you get next is preset. There are 2 possibilities.
Johnny had the goods on somebody. I want you to find them.
I asked if she was followed. She said she didn't think so. Besides, how do you turn down a dame that gives you roses?
Johnny had the goods on somebody, and I want you to find them.
I asked if she was being followed.
If you pay attention, the scenes are noticeably different, so you'll know ahead of time who the shooter's gonna be.
She said she didn't think so. Besides, how do you turn down a dame that gives you roses?
The key to the mystery will be found in Johnny's safe.
Yes, this is actually a different scene. You can tell because the lighting's suddenly totally different. Safety mat.
Nail the rat that did this. Put him away until he's as old and gray as the cement in his cell.
Then I made my second mistake. I said I'd try. And then I opened the telegram.
Wait, that guy had a real telegram? Why would a hitman have something related to the case? Maybe he really was a delivery boy and he just hated you.
There are too many suspicious thugs hanging around the office. You better not come back here anymore.
Alright, and now you're at the map. The layout of the map is preset, but you'll always have the same locations, except on the CDI version, where you get a completely different map. But whatever, now you can choose where to go next. Although not every place is a good idea. If you were paying attention, you'll know which locations you should go to first, although it doesn't matter which order you do it in. If you don't choose a location after a while, one of 3 things will happen. If it's still the beginning of the game, you can get this helpful message. There's a chance you'll get another phone call from your secretary, possibly even another bonus chance. Usually, though, you'll just get shot. You can go back to the office if you want, even though you were warned not to. One of 2 things will happen. Best case scenario,
What are you doing here? There's no evidence here.
worst case scenario, either way, there's no point. The other main location of interest is the gun store. If you want, you can go there, buy 200 bullets for $100. Seems like a good deal, assuming you have $100. Otherwise... So what, you have it out on the counter and you just pulled it back? What a dick. You can't go to the gun store on the DVD versions, because there is no ammo. Well, I suppose we might as well discuss the bonus stages here. You have a random chance of getting a phone call from your secretary tipping you off on one of these. You can also just stumble upon him at random without there being a phone call, but it's extremely rare, obviously.
Hi, boss. Roll your lucky number at the casino and make out like a bandit.
Once you get a phone call, you go straight to wherever she tells you, and you get a bonus round. For some reason, the casino has 2 possibilities. Okay, I'll explain it in detail in part 0, but all you need to know here is you shoot the lucky number you were given earlier. There's only one version of each scene, so the numbers are always going to be in the same order. This one's easier. You have a much bigger window to shoot your number.
There's something going on at the garage. You better check it out, boss.
One of the simpler scenes. You don't have to worry about your number passing you by.
Hey, love. Get over to the pool hall and hustle up some extra cash.
Same deal as the garage.
A big shipment just came in at the warehouse. Be there.
Did the conveyor belt just laugh at you? Here's a scene that only appears to be on a certain arcade version. I've never personally got it. I'm not even sure how it works. You don't seem to get a phone call. Looks like you just stumble upon this one at random. It also seems to work differently. You have to shoot your number when the arrow's going past it. Anyway, on to the business at hand. It doesn't matter what order you go to these places. I'm just going to do it alphabetically. But first, before you can go to wherever you want, you have to get through an ambush scene. They're preset for each game. Some versions of the game also throw in scenes from Murderer's Row later on, but I'm not going to cover them here. Some versions of the game don't even have these. This scene might not be in all versions. Doesn't mean it's not. I just don't remember ever seeing it. It's probably not, but, you know, it's random. It's way too easy to be part of Murderer's Row. Oh, and by the way, in case you think of it, don't shoot the woman. She's probably not an innocent person, but she'll count as one if you shoot her. Okay, first of all, don't shoot. Doesn't matter how good of a shot you are. The only thing that can possibly happen is you'll hit the hostage. Second, what the fuck did he say? The only word I understand was copper. That was it. This scene is random. There are 4 possibilities. This is easy. Everyone pops out near the middle. On the DVD, this guy's not part of the random set. He's instead fixed to appear at the end of the scene. I don't know why. They just did this for some reason. This scene is random. There are 4 possibilities, and I would also say it's one of the harder scenes. If you got more than one set you gotta get through. It needs to be said straight up. Don't shoot. The only thing that can happen is you'll hit the hostage. On the DVD, this guy's not part of the random set. He's instead fixed to appear at the end of the scene. Well, at least on this scene it actually makes sense, though. Oh boy, the window of death. This scene is random. There are 6 possibilities. Okay, this scene is simple, but difficult. Everybody appears in this one window. The bad news is, there are some innocent people you gotta avoid shooting. And the hard part is figuring out who's who. But there are some clues if you pay attention. Here's the first point. The innocent people pop out from the right. So anybody that pops out from the left or from below the window is a bad guy. Fortunately, the woman kinda stands out. This guy can be a problem because you might mistake him for the bad guy. Fortunately, when he appears, the traffic noise really picks up. You can hear this big-ass truck drive by. This is problem guy number 2, because he's really easy to confuse for the innocent person. Fortunately, when he appears, the traffic completely drops off. It's almost silent. On the DVD, this guy's not part of the random set. He's instead fixed to appear at the end of the scene. Here's a scene that I'm pretty certain only exists on certain arcade versions. I've never personally seen it. Yes, that's right, one of those cartoony bombs is rolling at you. If you don't shoot it, it blows up, and you die. But if you shoot it, it blows up, and you live. Don't ask questions. After you clear the ambush, you'll be at your destination.
The casino. I knew Johnny Rock had played in this private club.
What's the password?
I showed him my .38.
But you're using a Thompson.
Okay, Bladridge, you'll never leave this place the way you came in.
There she was in the purple cape, Lockjaw Lil. She was the tight-lipped dame that I'd needed to talk to.
There's 2 possible scenes here. The one you get is preset. This is probably the hardest scene in the entire game. It's certainly the biggest. There are a whopping 12 possibilities. Is that supposed to be the same woman? Was she just faking?
Don't shoot!
Sega CD version marks this guy, which gives you a nice heads up that he's gonna appear. This guy's easy to miss, so always keep an eye out for him. I'm surprised the Sega CD doesn't mark him. Well, there's a blooper. This scene is random, but it's a lot easier. There are 9 possibilities. Sega CD version marks this guy, which gives you a nice heads up that he's gonna appear. Sega CD marks this guy too, and gives you way too much time to know he's coming. This guy does not appear in all versions, probably because he's all the way at the edge of the screen and most people didn't have, big TVs back then.
You're crazy. You're gonna end up a corpse just like Johnny.
I told Lil I just wanted the facts.
I loved Johnny. I was gonna make him a star.
Then I told the bleeding heart I just wanted her clue to Johnny's combination.
This is what you need to look for.
After you meet a suspect, they'll give you their clue. The clue you get is preset. Pay attention. You'll regret it if you don't. Then you're done and back at the map screen. Good time to mention, don't go back to a place after you've cleared it, unless you're given a bonus chance. Otherwise, this happens. This guy on the right looks really confused.
I went to the garage to find a disease named pox.
Oh, so you're the bright boy. Beat it. We're busy. Hey, why don't you show him that rod we just greased up, boys?
The scene you get is preset. There are two possibilities. Sega CD marks the guys in the background of either of these scenes. Gives you plenty of heads up that they're gonna draw. Notice that Pox does not laugh on this version, so you know which scene you've got.
I told him, no more monkey business.
So Johnny owed me a little money. So what? Everybody does. I got nothing to hide.
I asked him for the clue to the safe.
All right, all right. I don't even have to grease my palm. It's there.
And done.
I walked into a room of sharks.
Say, bud, this is a private club.
I told him I was looking for mumps.
Yeah, well, I ain't looking for you. I'll store you in my cheeks till winter. Take care of him, boys.
What the hell did he just say? Okay, my best guess is he said cheese drawer. With a funny accent.
Cheeks till winter.
Because you're gonna be riddled full of holes, right? Also, it's the bartender from Mad Dog McCree. There's also a Mad Dog McCree cabinet in the bar. Boy, they really doubled down on the references, didn't they? I'm pretty certain they didn't have those back then. The scene you get here is preset. There are three possibilities. You can tell if you got this scene because the guy in the white coat walks in. Interestingly enough, on this version, this guy does not shoot up the bar, even though the bar ends up destroyed anyway. This scene might not be in all versions. Notice the subtle change in positions. In particular, this guy is standing more to the right instead of being behind the others.
Look what you did to my place! What do you want? What do you want?
I told him that I wanted his clue to the combination.
Okay, it's over there. It's over there.
And done. The warehouse actually has several scenes. Sega CD actually marks these guys because it's dark.
I fought my way inside the high explosives factory. I found the character I needed to talk to.
I splashed acid on my face, so they call me Measles. We're gonna bleach your bones.
The scene you get here is preset. There are 3 possibilities. Sega CD is nice enough to mark the guy in the doorway because he's so hard to see for all 3 versions of this scene. Sega CD also marks the guys upstairs, not that you really need them. On some versions, this is the last guy. On other versions, this is the last guy. You can tell if you got this scene because the guy closest to you is more animated. This scene might not be in all versions. You can tell when you get this scene because the characters barely move. It's like a Hanna-Barbera cartoon. This scene is also preset. There are 2 possibilities. It is not tied to the previous scene in any way. This guy fires far faster. You should just assume this is the scene you're gonna get. And in fact, this scene appears to be way more common than the other. Safety mat.
All right, copper, arrest me! I run a clean operation, just a little dynamite.
I wasn't a cop any more than he ran a clean operation.
Me and Johnny, we had a deal. We was gonna be partners.
I asked him for his clue to the safe.
Yeah, okay, here it is.
And done. This seems like a good place as any to split the walkthrough in half. But just for fun, here's all the random phone calls you can get. That I know of, at least.
Be sure and shoot the numbers to the combination in the order that you collected them. Don't forget your lucky number, boss. Once you get to the study, you'll only have 4 shots. It's a wall safe. It's upstairs behind Johnny Rock's picture. Hey, love, you are not the only one trying to get into Johnny Rock's safe. You better be careful when you get to that mansion. You are chewing up a lot of cash going to that Sawbones. You better save enough for Murderer's Row.
Here's a fun one. I think it's only on that weird arcade version. I don't know if there's any method to getting it.
Mad dog McCree's gang taking over the town. Hey, Parker, don't drop a thing.